Arriving at the New York County Courthouse, former socialite Ivanka Trump was poised for her time in the spotlight. Ivanka is the fourth member of her family to testify in this case, but the only one who didn't make comments to the waiting press. She's not a defendant, but is the last witness for the state, which is suing her father, the former president, for fraud.
Ivanka Trump was cordial, she was disciplined, she was controlled, and she was very courteous. But her testimony raises some questions with regards to its credibility.
Central to this trial is Donald Trump's image as a successful businessman, something he's built his entire political career on. The former president and his two adult sons, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., are accused of inflating the value of assets by billions of dollars to obtain better terms on loans and insurance.
It is no surprise to anybody like me who has been around New York real estate for the last 30 years that Donald Trump has been engaged in shady practices.
My father trained my siblings and me to see things not for what they are, but for what they can be.
Ivanka was quizzed about how financial statements were created while she was still a senior executive at the Trump organization, and she sought to distance herself from the questionable valuation methods used.
This level of granularity was not something that I can sit here today and say that I recall.
I mean, the judge can say, I don't believe you. I believe you do recall, but don't want to tell me because it would be harmful to the Trump organization. I'm going to draw a harsh inference from your claim of a lost memory. He could do that.
Ivanka's testimony comes 2 days after her father took the same stand. Unlike her calm and measured demeanour, he was all bombast and anger at his perceived enemies in the room, calling the state attorney general a political hack and the judge very unfair.
He's acting as if he believes that this trial is a lost cause, and he is simply performing for his political supporters to try to show them that he is still king of the mountain, and he is not giving any deference or respect, frankly, to this court process.
Outside the court, Donald Trump was just as scathing and used the moment as an opportunity to rally his supporters.
Very sad situation for our country. We shouldn't have this. This is for third world countries, and very unfair. It's very unfair. But in the meantime, the people of the country understand it, they see it, and they don't like it. They don't like it because it's political warfare, as you would call it, or political lawfare.
Before this trial even began, the judge ruled Trump and the other defendants were liable for fraud by submitting false financial statements, inflating the value of key assets like Donald Trump's penthouse apartment in Trump Tower and his Florida residence Mar-a-Lago. What's still to be determined is the punishment.
The documents do not lie, the numbers do not lie.
On the line for Donald Trump is a lot of cash. The New York Attorney General wants at least $250 million in penalties. Trump and his sons could also be permanently barred from running a business in New York. Donald Trump's freedom is not at risk in this particular civil case, but he is facing 4 different sets of criminal charges in different states of the country, all of which come with potential prison sentences. The first of the felony trials is scheduled for early March. In that case, Donald Trump is accused of illegally attempting to overturn the 2020 election.
Frankly, we did win this election.
A mob of Trump supporters rioted and breached the US Capitol on January 6, 2021, on the day the votes were being certified.
There's every reason to expect that that trial will be completed long before election day in November. It's possible that if convicted, he would even be sentenced before November of 2024.
Donald Trump can still run for president from jail. And if he's re-elected to the top job, it's possible Trump could pardon himself, at least on the federal charges.
It's not good policy, of course. It's awful policy. But if you read the pardon clause of the Constitution, there's no language in it that would enable a person to make an argument that the president cannot pardon himself.
Despite his legal woes, polls indicate Donald Trump is still the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination and is currently leading in a potential rematch against President Joe Biden.
He's used the institutions available to him as president and since to wreak a kind of havoc on our administration of justice. And I think that that will only continue if he's reelected.